Because you're like, y'all not about to catch me slipping. If y'all gonna talk to me, then I got
I'm
something.
ready. I'm ready.
I've never had to have this conversation.
But I'm ready for it if I do.
Welcome back to Teacher Tales, where we give you the keys to overcoming teacher burnout to find work-life balance and educational bliss if it still exists. I'm your host, Tony Rambles, and on this interview episode of Teacher Tales, we discuss equitable distribution of duties, incentives for participation, and self-care strategies to start the new year. This is an episode you do not want to miss. So, let's get it going. So, would you, because I don't necessarily exactly know how to spread all of this out, and this is me just kind of throwing darts. I've been thinking about this all summer because I've been kind of talking about it one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
How would you spread the work out amongst everybody? And so this is not talking about like planning or curriculum, that kind of stuff, because that's up to kind of each individual teacher to make sure that they have their stuff done in that way, which is another conversation. But how would you spread it out? So I know you're not secondary, but secondary, we have coaches. Those people get paid. That doesn't count. You signed up for that.
Right.
You're getting your money. When it's time to volunteer, right? When you have the carnivals and you have the duties.
Extracurricular stuff.
The extracurricular stuff that people are not getting paid for. How would you spread that out amongst every person? Like, everybody has a time where they got to stay.
Yeah, I mean, I almost feel like creating a rotation of some sort. I mean, just like you would, I guess in my thinking, just like you would for whoever has morning duty and whoever has afternoon duty. Even if you rotated, you know, this department has these activities, this grading period. Next grading period, this department has basketball games, tennis, I don't know, whatever, because I know it's a lot more complicated at the secondary level. Y'all have way more activities and stuff going on outside of school hours. But I would just create, in my mind, I would think rotations of some sort. And even if, you know, ABC departments does this first grading period, second grading period, we'll switch. And I would probably even go as far as whoever is doing afternoon dismissal duty is not the person who has to do the extracurricular stuff this grading period, because they already may be here late, parents not picking up, whatever. So finding ways to rotate it and be fair.
Share the load. Everybody has to do it.
Everybody has to do it. You know that last piece of job responsibilities that says other duties as assigned?
Yeah.
There it is.
That's the biggest part and the smallest part in writing, but the biggest part in
there
school.
It is. Everybody has to do it.
I think that's the way that it has to be. Because now the person who wants to do more stuff, like I would say personally, when I get to do stuff that I want to do, I'm not burned out by that.
Right.
I like to, you know, go to the basketball games, or I like to, you know, have clubs or go watch theater. Like those are not things that I would need to be, you know, I don't need my arm twisted to do those things because I like them. It's when, say there's something, I'm trying to think, because I don't think that there's not as much required, I would say, of us at our school. A lot of that stuff is voluntary, but the voluntary things that we do help to make the school a better place. Like nobody has to show up to the theater performance.
Right.
But if it was empty in there, like imagine how much that would suck.
The students would feel.
The students would, and the teachers.
And the teachers.
Like we put together this thing for
and
months,
no one showed up.
And nobody cared.
Yeah, that sucks.
That would be awful.
I get it though.
But
even if you spread it out.
It's got to be spread out.
Yeah.
I think when people are connected to something, then they care more.
Yeah. But I think, like you mentioned earlier, like finding ways to connect people to the areas that they like.
Yes.
Will draw in more participation. Because I think at one of my campuses, the middle school that I work at, that's what the principal does. Like she'll send an email out first.
Right.
And she'll say, hey, we have such and such coming
Right.
up. Is
These 20
anybody
things.
interested in helping to support with this activity?
Mm-hmm.
If she doesn't get the response she's looking for, then she'll send a second one. Hey, I only had 5 people.
Right.
Can I get 5 more people
Mm-hmm.
to? And then if she doesn't, she's like, okay, hey, I need this department to step in and do it. It's like, I'm trying to, give y'all a chance. So now I'm just going to start assigning.
I think that's good. Because, like, so if I'm on doing something, right? We'll say we got to work not prom. That's late. Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
We got the homecoming dance, and there are probably, there's typically a sign-up list for that. But those teachers that I work homecoming dance with, hopefully this is what people are doing, which probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Connecting with those other teachers that are there. Because now, if I know Sparkle, or if I know Miss Jones, and she asked me to do something with her,
right,
it's different than
right.
Who is this emailing me? Like, I don't even know this teacher.
Yes,
they don't even work
true.
in my department. Like, so that connectedness helps in so many more ways, because now it's a name, a face to a name.
That's true.
So now it's not just me saying, oh, I'm not doing that. It's, dang, I don't want to leave Miss Jones stuck out. I'm going to help her out.
Yeah, that's true. Another thing, too, which at all 3 of the campuses that I have right now, I will say all the principals have done the same thing. If there's something where, there's an activity, program, performance, whatever, after school, and the teachers have to stay late, all the principals will provide food.
Oh, I'm in.
They will provide food. I even had one campus where they're like, hey, I know it's a very long work day. We'll have, this and this and this food. And also, I brought in 2 food trucks. So if you don't like what I'm ordering, there's food trucks outside. And then you can order from them too.
Mm-hmm.
So then, of course, teachers are like, oh, food? Yeah, I'm in. Like, it makes it better.
It does.
It makes it better.
If there's pizza being ordered,
yeah.
I don't care what I have to do at that point. I'm staying.
Yeah.
Of course, I got to call Kia first.
Right. But it just helps, because then it's like, okay, well, one, I don't have to try to run off and hurry up and get something. I'm going to spend my own money. Like, they're at least trying to make it more convenient for me to do this, which I can appreciate. And even though, and like, a lot of those things, because I have more than one campus, I'm not required to do. Mm-hmm. But even I am more willing to say, I'll help out with that. Let me run and get my kids real quick. I'll be right back. And then they almost always tell me, hey, we got enough for your kids too. So don't worry about grabbing them anything to eat either. Mm-hmm. Just bring them. And I'm like, cool. Like,
I don't have to feed these kids.
I ain't got to feed them. They might even enjoy being here.
Right.
So great. No problem. I'll help out.
Spread it out.
Give it to the people who want it first, and then assign.
And then we shall assign stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully I don't get crucified, because everybody's like, oh no, like contract hours. Don't let them take your time away. I'm like, oh gosh, here we go with this contract hours stuff.
This is one thing I'll say about contract hours too. If I'm late, however many minutes late I am, I always stay the same number of minutes after. Even if I'm like, I don't care, it's my time to go. No, I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna give my time, and I'm gonna do what I need to do. Like, I get it, you be ready to go home, but I kind of stole some time this morning, so I'm gonna give it back.
Being fair, that's a good way to put it, because it's like, don't y'all come at me for these couple of little minutes. Now, if you late all the time, then you need to take your medicine. Stop being late, and you won't get in trouble for being late. Number 1, but
set a different alarm.
Exactly.
Do better.
Be more disciplined. Sometimes we just got to take the onus on ourselves.
Yes.
Not sometimes, a lot of times.
Yes.
And stop playing the victim card. Number 2, if I'm just not that late often, don't come over here. I'm getting riled up just thinking about it. And this hasn't happened to me, I don't think. Not that I can remember. But I do think about this when I'm late, though.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody comes and tries to, like, reprimand me
For this one time.
for this little time I was late, after all the classes out of cover,
Exactly.
Right? You start making this list,
Yes.
this list in your head. Fellow educator, I would love to hear about some stories of when you felt like you got in trouble, but you really felt like you shouldn't have been in trouble. Please post these, and you can do it anonymously, on the Teacher Triumphs Facebook group. This is where we beat burnout together, and sometimes we just like to share our funny stories. So definitely head there and share your quote unquote getting in trouble story.
It's a whole scenario conversation you're having. Yeah.
Because you're like, y'all not about to catch me slipping. If y'all gonna talk to me, then I got
I'm
something.
ready. I'm ready.
I've never had to have this conversation.
But I'm ready for it if I do.
I think that is like, that kind of goes into like the burnout that happens because people are feeling like they give, not feeling. People are giving of themselves so much.
Yes.
If I'm getting in trouble for something that is probably not that big of a deal, especially if I'm not the one.
It feels unfair.
It feels so unfair.
Yeah.
You're like, screw this. You know what? I'm transparent. I'm getting out of this.
Going somewhere and it's probably going to happen there too. But you go. Yeah.
I think that it helps that, again, I'm always going to come back to this part, building those connections.
Yeah.
You know, talking to people is so mystifying. I'll use that word, where we have people that work at the campus and they've been there for years.
Yeah.
And people just, they don't know them.
Yeah.
They may not even know their name. They're like, how long you been here? I've been here for 3 years. Like, wow. I'm like, well, if you know that person, like at least to shake their hand, say what's up.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things make a huge difference. And they go a long way.
They do.
When we do have to talk about either discipline or getting time off or all of that stuff, when I know you, it's not the same. It's totally different.
Yep. I
Can you share any, I guess, like self-care tips that you try to start in the beginning of the year? Like before we start school, like these are some things that you would like to put in place to help prevent the burnout before it happens.
Ooh. Okay, so my self-care, and I guess it depends on the person and what they like and what matters to them. But mine is like little stuff.
Okay.
So I'm very mindful of things that I know year to year always end up getting to me. So I will even like tape little messages around my computer screen or what is always in my line of sight so that it's a reminder, right? Like, Sparkle, don't get frustrated about the things you can't control or whatever. Like little messages, maybe even for me, scriptures, whatever, where it's like always in my direct line of sight. So it's a reminder. Don't even let yourself don't even let your blood pressure rise that much. Okay. Regroup, start over the next day. I also, I don't know, smell good stuff helps me to relax.
Ooh.
So I always have some type of fragrance or something in my space because it helps me to stay settled. And then I am by no means getting paid from Amazon for saying this, but Amazon has this little like bracelet thing, but it has like, you could put aroma oils in there. And you just put a couple drops in there. So when you smell it, it's calming. You could do like lavender or whatever.
Smell good.
Yes, but it's a relaxation technique. And then, of course, like I said, I create boundaries for myself. So if 5 o'clock is my time, 5 o'clock is my time. And then I make sure I leave. So I leave myself enough time to go get my kids, make dinner, do whatever, take a walk when I get home. That is my thing. Take a walk. Sometimes on my lunch break, I take a walk.
Take a walk outside.
Outside might be laps around the building. If it's burning up outside, it's laps around the building.
I'm not going outside ever.
Well, when it's cool outside, it's not that bad. And
when is it ever cool outside?
when you hit like December. When you get to like December is pretty.
In Houston, it goes from hot to cold.
Yes, it does. There's not like a 60s, maybe even 50s type situation.
You go from 85 to 45.
Very extreme. But the walks matter to me.
Okay.
So when I was in the classroom, I would use, my my lunchtime to do my walks.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I had my planning time, I would eat and plan. So that way I wasn't like not eating during the day. But that gave me time to find ways to decompress during the day and then still, take care of whatever my other needs are. So that's why I say I take the walks because it helps me. One, my office, I don't have no windows. I'm like in the middle or the back of the building in every single one of my schools.
Yeah.
So I don't even have windows on my door to see the hallway. So
that's the worst.
I feel very closed in. So the walks are like,
you need it.
Yes, I got to get out of this building.
That
I just need to know, is it raining outside? Is the sun shining? Like, what does it even look like anymore outside? What time is it? Because I've lost all track of time being in this room. So that's me. Just find whatever helps you. Stay focused, stay settled during the day, and implement little pieces of it. Like, I know fragrance is probably like, what? I don't even, but no, like it's.
Do you think that could be a PD? Like, here are some techniques or some.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody needs something. And I think that probably different campuses do different variations of that. Because I know the schools that I'm at now, they have like self-care calendars and they'll send them out and say it's for the whole month. Like today do this, today do this, today do this. Or at least once a month, my campuses bring those like massage people in.
Oh.
And they did. And then at my middle school, they ordered massage chairs. So they have like a wellness room and you can go in there. It's got that soft raindrop music. And the massage chairs. And everybody gets to do 15-minute increments in the massage chairs.
Always somebody in there? Like to
always somebody in there.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's very, very nice. The lights are dim, the whole setup. Like, so if you are a leader and you're listening to this, do something like that for your campus.
We had somebody try to put together something like that. Shout out to Fred. I think he tried.
Thank you for your effort, Fred.
Yeah. I won't say his last name, but if you know, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't, it just didn't work out. It just didn't work.
Didn't work.
Nobody ever goes in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Advice for a teacher, a new teacher, and a seasoned teacher for starting their school year before they get kids. Advice.
Okay. Advice for a new teacher. You should be teachable and receptive. I, in my experience, have found that there are some new teachers who feel like I just came out of school. I know all these things and I'm going to implement them and it's going to be a great year. And I am going to have this dangerous minds type of year and my impact is going to be so great. Things are going to happen. Something will go wrong. Find you somebody who's been there.
Boom.
Who has done it 100 times over and can help guide you through it. A mentor is crucial.
Yeah.
I'm most of the time with new teachers, school districts assign mentors. But if you find, like you said, connecting with people, if you find somebody that you more authentically connect with, stick with that person, reach out to them, ask for help. You do not have to sit and struggle.
Right.
Ask for help. It's critical.
I love being a mentor. That's probably something I will always do as long as I'm in education.
Yeah. Do they still do the mentor program? Yeah. So do it.
Those first year teachers, think
they got big dreams.
They do. They don't know what they're
They
stepping
don't
into.
know. You have no idea what you're walking into.
None of us did.
No idea.
But like, you have to have somebody that's going to tell you like, okay, it's not the end of the world.
Yes.
It's cool.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. Sometimes I had a teacher, Miss Aang. She's been on the show. She's awesome. Definitely going to bring her back on. And there were just times where she was just like, what do I do here?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
See, that's what I mean. Just ask for help.
Yeah. And I was like, don't worry about that. That's junk. Don't worry about that. You got to have somebody that can like kind of push you along.
Yeah.
And then kind of help you pull the reins back.
Yes.
Like,
oh my gosh, yes.
If you have a mentor that only complains,
that ain't the mentor.
Get away from that person. It's
toxic.
From that person.
It's very toxic. Complainers create more complainers.
They do.
It's toxic. But yeah, for a veteran teacher though, be open and receptive, right? We're not on these fixed mindsets. There's not only one way to do something just because you've done it that way for 5-10 years.
20 years.
It's 20 years. Here's the thing, too, with veteran teachers, especially who've been in the game for a long time. Our society as a whole is changing significantly.
Rapidly.
And very quickly. And there are some things that we did before that we just cannot do it that way anymore. Like, we just have to, as they say, keep up with the times. And you got to just be open. Fixed mindset, growth mindset. You got to have the growth mindset. You got to be open to changing some things around. And I can be that way if I'm honest. I don't even have a tablet, iPad of any sort because I don't want technology like that.
I don't either.
Give me a pen and a notepad. And that is more than likely how I take my notes. And I know it's so traditional, old school. So I know at some point I'm going to have to figure some things out.
Because there are now apps that will take your notes on paper and make a digital copy of them.
See, I didn't know that.
See, there you go.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Keep taking those paper notes. Whatever's working.
But that's my point. Still, it goes back to technology. So at some point, I got to learn how to make these adjustments. I have to, because everything is moving in that direction. So.
For better or for worse.
Oh, God, yes. So for both, for new teacher, veteran teacher, be open, be receptive. And I'll just leave that there. Be open and be receptive. Apart from what I've already said.
Complain less.
Complain less.
There's a time to vent your frustrations. I think what you do after that is the biggest key. Like, are you just going to keep complaining, or are you trying to find solutions, or can you just let stuff go? There's
a time and there's a way.
Yeah.
And there is the right people to vent your frustrations.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're good here.
That's great. I had fun.
I hope you all enjoyed that conversation between me and my wonderful friend, Sparkle. It is always a pleasure having her on and getting her perspective on education, because she's worked in so many different roles across various districts. She's able to really bring a different eye than I can, because, I work high school and she doesn't. So we can really kind of bat some things around, as you all were able to hear. Of course, if you didn't hear the first part of the interview, go back to Monday and listen to it. And then next Monday, I'll have an excellent educational article, and then I'll have another interview on Thursday. But before we get out of here, remember, effective methods for equitably distributing extracurricular responsibilities among teachers is not easy, but the solution takes all of us, everyone on campus. This helps create a supportive and connected work environment for teacher morale to prevent burnout, because at some point, we're all going to deal with it. We need that work environment to help us. Also, Practice self-care tips and strategies for balancing work and personal life to help you prevent burnout. Find what works for you. Because you enjoyed what you heard from this episode, go join the Teacher Triumphs Facebook group, where me and my partner Jen Jamie created it as a way to help you overcome burnout and balance life by building community with other wonderful educators. Thank you for listening. I'll be back next Monday and Thursday with more Teacher Tales. Keep teaching, keep learning, and I will see you all on the next journey.